So guys, as promised, I'm going to hit one of these Pharmacon 106 cryptos. As I showed you before, they give off the fragments for the Horde Cannon. So I'm going to attack one of them with the Orator fleet, and then I'm going to show how easy it is on auto. See, I nearly ended up in the wrong sector there. There we go. Try it this way. So this fleet, it's all Pharmacon, and I've been struggling to get my head around how Pharmacon work, because sometimes they seem like they're untouchable, and then other times they just seem to they just seem too squishy, too easily, if you get what I mean. Now, the reason is not because they are weak, it's because of damage taken and when it's taken, I think. So if you look here, the phase goes up, phase charge goes up, they go into phase, they crack on. I've messed up there, I didn't put it on offensive. When the phase is low, that's when they're weak, because if they've no phase, they've nothing to soak up the damage that's coming in. So it goes straight to the health. However, if you was to attack whilst they had half phase, the damage that you're doing, first of all, has to drain phase before it then damages their actual health. They do take some damage, but at a lesser percentage. So if you watch here, we'll hit that one. Before drones come in and they're hitting, and they're stopping the phase from increasing, they're stopping it from charging, and it slowly goes down. And as it slowly goes down, as you can see, the hull only takes a little bit of health, but when it gets to its lower end, they take so much damage, it just absorbs everything. And that's why I suggest not using any Pharmacon in close range, because if you're in close range, that means you're going to constantly take damage. So all it takes is for you to take enough damage to lose your phase charge, and then every single one of your ships, whether it be next to 5 ships or next to 1 ship, it's going to take immeasurably more damage than it would do if it had a little bit of phase charge. For this reason, I think the Vector and maybe the Dreadnought are going to be the only ships that are worthwhile getting. Now, I know that's not a very technical explanation. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of how phase is affected and all that. Like, you can research that yourselves. But if they'd have no phase charge, they are uber squishy, which is why it matters so much about timing. Pharmacon, in my mind, the way of getting around, way of understanding it to myself is, Pharmacon are the ninja race. They kind of do like little drive-by shootouts. Yeah. Another fleet for this Orator, Orator, I never really know how to say this. This was in one of Emax's videos the other week. How we all pronounce stuff, ablative, ablative. I call it ablative. I don't know why. Just do. So I've just done the crypto there. Crypto for the codec drops the Havoc cannon. I've only used them on the Operator so far, so I'm not really going to go into there, because the main weapon that everyone seems to be using, as Emax has highlighted for us in his previous videos, is the Horde cannon. So that's the easiest way to get the Horde cannon if you've got an elite Orator, is to hit them fleets there, the cryptos. Partnered with the crypto is the 104 crypto, which gives this scale armor. Now, this weapon has been released for the Orion, but with its range, as Emax has again alluded to, it is really useful on pretty much every ship that it can be fitted to, especially with being able to have multiple different element types. You can use it as it's like the jack of all trades With your ranges, you lose a bit of distance, a little bit of range, but you make up for it so much more with the power that it does, and with the fact that it's lighter, which helps you out earlier on as you're all trying to increase your marks, or as you're trying to level up your marks. That little bit of extra weight is the difference between having a squishy ship and a alright ship. Now again, this is the same as before. They come in with no phase charge, they get absolutely mullered, pop, big squish, pop, and these guys come back and pop and mop up. Don't worry about chasing ships, you don't need to. Just play your game, let it do its thing. These guys will finish up behind you and then they'll catch up. The reason Emacs has shown me this route is because these little squishy things in the middle. I think it's the blight that does us damage. We're alright in the plasma, I believe, but the blight makes us pop. It's exactly the same makeup as the fleet for the weapon, however they're just easier for the armour, hence why you don't get as many fragments for the armour. I don't usually change, I just leave it to do what it's doing, but I just want to speed this little video up, so I'm just going to head towards these and set them on there. Again, these little things are amazing because what they do is they just keep the phase down, which means that this ship is great against any farmer conflict because these guys just keep them with no phase charge. With no phase charge, every single ship is squishy. I can farm the marks for the Orions, which is all farmer conflicts, with this thing on its own, which is perfect. It's slow, you've got to take your time and just keep back, but it's a perfect way to get yourself up into the tier 8 sort of big leagues with just one ship. You don't need any other ships other than this. And to show you that, what I'll do is I'll show you my example of how to get basically a tier 8 fleet. You could have all these Orions with just these 3 fleets. You wouldn't even need to do the blueprints if you didn't want to. What you would all you would have to do is hit them weapons fleets, hit the armor fleets, buy your blueprint, buy your Mark II upgrade, and then what you do is you take your Orator straight into battle into your Mark IIIs. So you go straight for your Mark III, farm this. By the time you've built your first Orion, you'd have a Mark III pattern for it anyway, blueprint for it, so you could upgrade it straight away. Mark III Orion, you could fit 2 of your level 3 horde cannons on, plenty of shield, plenty of armour, and you're good to go. Then you use your Orions to constantly keep farming this with your Orator, and next thing you know, after one weekend you've got a full fleet of Orions at Mark 4 or 5, especially this weekend with them being extra fragments for each pattern. You could get a full fleet of Orions up there if you had the time to farm it within a day, 2 days. But again, this can do all. I've tested this ship here. It's an elite Orator with all blue shields and armor. And it's just got the Xeno Eclipse drivers on it. That's it. Xeno Mark IV ships, spawners. And it's a freebie basically. If you've got this ship, you've got a get out of jail free card or an advance to go, whatever phrase you want to use towards it. You can get straight into tier 8 with a fleet of awesome Orion ships that can just farm quite a bit, to be fair. Get them horde cannons on them, and you're straight in there. So as you can tell, as I mentioned before, the phase is staying charged. But if you watch this, as soon as I should have left them on that one. As soon as the phase came out, they would have taken so much damage. No phase charge, instant pop. Just goes to show how easy that ship is to kill when it has no phase charge. The whole fleet is easy to kill. That's why I don't like them, other than these vectors, because you can stay at the ninja range and not take the damage. Other fleets to hit with this Orator, if you've got a Valraven or two, or a Vector, then I'd suggest hitting these with it and get your markups for your Valravens. 1 Orator and 2 Valravens is a good little fleet to hit. Yeah, and that's it. That thing's absolutely awesome for leveling all these up. That's not the one I want. There's one more fleet that this Orator is good for, and that's the Codec. That gives these shields. So you've got the armour for the Alterian. Now let's get the shields for the Alterian. So then you send this in. Again, another easy fleet. All you've got is Pharmacon. Operators. That's it. You've got operators and a carrier. Oh crap, I picked the wrong one. Damn it! I'll show you the fleet and I'll show you how easy it is with the Orator in a minute anyway. So I'm going to leave this one on auto. These are Mark III. Two of them have got Horde cannons and the rest have got the Nova drivers. I say Mark III, this is stuff you can get easy enough, and they do plenty of damage. Would have done a lot more damage if I'd have kept them flying as I want them to fly, because you're focusing that damage all on one ship, so then you take a lot less damage. But just to show you how easy it is to do the super farming that Emax alludes to every now and then. This fleet would be doing this on its own whilst I go and do something else with the Orator or the Leviathan or the Valravens. Again, that'll be an instant repair. That's one thing I didn't mention with the Orator. I'm not going to waste this coin on that. With the Orator, it's not an instant repair most of the time, because you do take a little bit, but it's like 1 coin. So if you keep going and going and going, you're going to get 60 to 70 fleets out of it. Well worth the time invested when you end up with an absolutely beastly fleet of Horde cannons and shields and God knows what. So, as with usual, target that. That's it. That's all the input you need. I'll leave it to do its own thing now. Luckily this one flies at you and then turns, which means you can get this phase charge down. And it's instant pop. These guys, they're just floating, focusing on your little spawners, and you just polish them off. Off we go. These 3. See how they're being held at bay from the phase for ages by these little spawners. These ships, they pack a punch for the size of them, for what they are. This one flies in, it's straight away. He comes in at the time where he loses his phase charge, which means he's uber squishy. These guys not got much phase charge, so it doesn't take much to get rid of it, so then they become uber squishy very quickly. This guy's got no phase charge, so he's just going to take instant damage. It looks like they're not doing anything, but it's constant, and it's little by little. Now they've got no phase, it's just constantly, slowly ticking down. And it's gone. Nice and easy. You've got shield, you've got your armour, you've got your weapons. you've got then if you've got this elite Orator, you can do all 3 of them fleets. All 3 of them fleets will give you the blueprint for that. Buy it, done. You can do the Mark 3. Buy that. You don't even need to waste your time getting the Mark 1 and 2 blueprints for the time being. You could just get straight into farming for Mark 3. Get Mark 3 kitted up with your inventory items, which you've now managed to acquire by doing them 3 fleets, which is this one, and then your weapon. By getting all that together, you've got your ship. Nice and easy. So this is Mark 4. So Mark 3, just take one of them 3 shield level 3 shields off. Maybe a Zephyr thruster, and you've got a, you know, a decent packing damage ship. You've got 3,500 damage. You've got a decent amount of shield, decent amount of armor. You can get straight into the fight. That's what I'm doing. I've already put Mark 2s on these. I did them with instant applications for these. Don't even waste your time. Just fill your ship with the Xeno Eclipse, and then put 2 on, and then replace them 2 with these 2, and it's a couple of hours upgrade time. And that's the way. It's your way into getting onto the tier 8 ladder straight away. The instant gratification with the Orion, and just with the Orator.